Welcome guys, welcome back to From Plot to Plate, No Dig Allotment. If you're here for the first time, welcome. You're more than welcome to stay for the rest of this video and look at any of my other videos that I've got on YouTube at the moment. The channel is all about allotmenteering, gardening. I've been doing gardening for about 25 years now on this allotment site. I'm one of the longest members on the allotment. I think there's one more guy that's been here a little bit longer than I have. And I think the youngest member on the allotment. There's one more younger than me as well, so that's not too bad. That's not too bad. But yeah, 25 years I've been on this site. And for 20 of those years, I was digging the allotment like everybody else, the conventional way of cultivating the soil, turning the ground over in the winter, allowing the frost to break up the soil, and then basically getting your plants ready for planting in the spring. But the last 5 years I've been doing the no-dig approach, and there's a couple of reasons why I've gone down the no-dig approach way of gardening. And the main reason was about 5 years ago I became not very well. I started suffering with anxiety. I suffered with depression, and I was really struggling with my mental health. Now, the garden is fantastic for mental health. There's no doubt about that. It's absolutely fantastic. But if you have got a large allotment plot, like I've pretty much got, and to maintain it when you're feeling the way you feel when you are suffering with mental health can be a challenge in itself. But what I have found is the no-dig approach have really given me impetus, because what happened when I was ill, I let the allotment go and life gets in the way. As much as I wanted to be down here and, you know, worrying about the fact that it was going out of control, you know, it was just beyond. In fact, I'll just show you a picture now of what the allotment went like about 5 years ago. Have a look at this. So you can see there, guys, it doesn't look the best, you know. It was overgrown with weeds. You know, the weeds were a metre high, and me and my dear wife at the time were coming down here trying to maintain it, and it was just hard work. But like I said, what I did, I ended up knocking down those weeds, and I just started the no-dig approach. And many of you know Charles Dowding, and I was looking at his channels on YouTube. In my house, longing to be down the allotment, trying to do a bit down here, knowing it was out of control. But it was almost like a bit of a realization, the no-dig approach. And I thought, I think I could do it, like, you know, I think I could do that, because I've always produced my own compost in the allotment. And, you know, I knew I had a pile of compost in the allotment already anyway, that was tucked away. So I thought, yeah, I'm gonna give it a go. So I just started small. I just did a section, like one long bed I did first. And what I did, I just put the cardboard down, like, you know, what they do on the no-dig thing. I cut the grass down first, flat with a strimmer. Put over the weeds, then I put cardboard. And then basically just put some timbers in to support them with regards to the bed. So I got a little bit of a pathway. And that's what I did. And eventually, over the next season or two, my health started to improve, but also because I was able to do it this way with regards to the no-dig approach, I found it easier, and I had an amazing harvest that first year, and I thought, I was blown away by it, absolutely blown away. And then I became hooked on the no-dig approach. And when you look into it, everybody gardens differently, and I got no preference in the sense of saying to someone, you should do this or you shouldn't do that. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying what works for me personally. Not disturbing the soil. I've got less weeds. That's what I found. And, you know, I can leave it go over season and not do any weeding. Come down the following season and just basically just maintain the bed. But when I'm putting the compost on the top of the beds, I can basically just do hand weeding. That's what I find. And that is a huge thing. If I showed you some around some of my allotment plots by here that are not doing no-dig, you know, and they've got some lovely things growing, but the weeds, just because we've had a bit of rain recently, the weeds are just like exploded. And mine, you can't see any, because that compost actually not disturbing the soil, not digging those weeds to the surface. And I'm also putting compost on, which obviously stops any light from those weeds actually coming up. So the last 5 years I've been doing no dig. And thankfully my mental health has improved as well, so that's always a good thing. But I want to show you today my rainwater gutter system. Now, what is the rainwater gutter system? Well, let me show you this in this video here. Have a look at this. You'll find this quite interesting, because I found doing this was amazing, absolutely amazing. Have a look at this, guys. Before I go, guys, I just want to show you a video now after. This was 2 years ago, this was. I want to show you the allotment site and the beds now after I've done the no-dig approach. I'll put a picture up now before we go off onto the rainwater gutter system. Right guys, so we're outside and I've just got it on my bench here to show you how this is made, how it's set up, and then I'll demonstrate with the buckets and with the net cup that I'll show you in a second how that works. So basically all you got really is you got 4x2 timbers, 2 pieces. This is 2 meters in length, okay? Now the reason why it was 2 meters in length, you can have this any length, but the reason why it's 2 meters in length is because it was going in my greenhouse initially when I had the greenhouse. But this obviously can be working outside or inside a greenhouse. Polytunnels, it's all the same. So all I basically got here is 1 piece of 2 meter length of guttering, okay? And you got 2 pieces of timber, 2 inches by 4 inches, okay? And then what you basically do, you can fix it with these little screws, and there's like rubber grommets around there to it, sealing it obviously with these rubber grommets. And I've fixed them every maybe 1.5 feet, okay, on both sides. You can see there it fitted on both sides, so that basically now is nice and level. On the one end you've got a cap, so that's just a standard capped end, and then up here is the business end. This is where it all sort of kicks off. So you've got the float here, and the float basically when the water comes into the rainwater gutter system here, and I'll show you how that works. So the water comes in, and basically the water fills up into the troughing, and that rises, and it cuts off when the water gets to a certain level, okay? Cuts off. And then what happens then is when the plants, the containers are put on you, which I'll show you now in a sec, but when the plants are put on you, they absorb the moisture, the water, through a wicking system in the containers in here. Once they take that up, the containers, then obviously the water level should go down here, and what happens then is that when that goes down, it obviously sets off the actual the water float, and then the water comes out, fills back up, and then basically that rises back up and cuts off again. And I just got this like tank that I use, and basically I put that in there. Let me get some buckets on you now, and I'll show you the net cup as well, okay? So this will be easier to demonstrate as well. Right guys, so I've just got some buckets to show you what I mean. So these are net cups you can use, okay? And basically what you can do is you can drill a hole in the bottom, okay, which is obviously just the same diameter as the bottom of the cup, not the top, because it'll fall through otherwise. The bottom of the cup. And what happens then is you can push the net cup into the bucket, so it'll be like sticking out like that, you know what I mean? And this rim keeps it inside. And then you could put your wicking material, whatever it is, whether you're using a compost because it can wick through certain composts, or whether you put material like a wicking a capillary matting, you know, that type of thing in there, basically. And when that goes around, if you can imagine, the net cup then is just sitting perfectly into the water like that, with that container on it, like that. And what basically happens then is is that once that's on there, the bucket, that's obviously absorbing the water, and the plants then in the bucket can actually take up the moisture. And what happens when the plant is taking up the moisture, right? Obviously the water then is running down. Well, once it starts to run down, this will start to drop, and then the filtration system will actually kick in and it'll start to fill up the gutter again. Now, this is what I use, is just basically one of these storage water containers with a little tap on there, and then you can basically attach a hose. I'm going to be changing this hose, so ignore this, but that's the idea. I'm going to get a rubber hose instead, like a more softer hose, so that this is quite stiff, so it's rigid. I want a softer one, so you can put that on there with a Jubilee clip, and that's the idea. So what happens then is, so obviously this is full of water. You can put your feed, you can put anything you want in there, and basically the tap is left on. The water then fills the trough. You put your containers with your flowers or with your vegetables or your whatever you want to grow inside the containers, and allow the wicking system to work for itself. Once that water is taken up by the plants, that's it. The plants they'll only take up, they're not sitting in the water, they'll only take up the water they need. But as soon as that water level then drops, the float will kick in and it'll just continue to fill up the gutter. And that's how I do my gutter system. I'm going to show you now a video where it's all set up and it's planted, and you can see exactly what I mean. So that'll be on a later video though, guys, okay? So I'm going to show you that on another occasion, but you can just see the idea of how this works with this rainwater gutter system. Again, you can have this gutter any length. So this is about 2 meters, but you can have it 10 meters if you want. And once you've actually set it up, all you've got to do is make sure there's enough water in the barrel. Whether you want to put feed in the barrel, comfrey, or anything really, like, you know what I mean? So if you are going to put comfrey in there, I would make sure that you don't put no leaves into the barrel directly. Just make your tea, drain it off, and add the actual liquid then directly to that, because it's not going to block up any of the valves or anything coming through. And you can put a bit of a lid on top of the barrel, which obviously allows you then to keep the water from any pathogens and things going in it. But collecting the water from there is simple, off your shed or whatever you want to do, or you can fill it up yourself by means of you know, house pipe or whatever, like, you know, whatever you want to do, just to make it easy for yourself. But you won't have to water these then for nearly the whole of the season. Isn't that incredible? So I could just leave these do their thing. All I got to do is make sure if I'm planting tomatoes, which will be tomatoes in here, Crimson Crush, and it will be one pepper out of these 6. There's 5 tomatoes, 1 pepper. All you've got to do is make sure you're picking out the side shoots, like you would on your normal tomatoes in a greenhouse. That's it. The rainwater gutter system, guys. This is absolutely amazing. It works well, and yeah, this is something I've been doing for a number of years. Didn't do it last year because I had a problem with the gutter, but that's sorted now. I've done that end. But I'm definitely going to be setting this up this year, and I'm going to show you a video when I'm planting and things. Yeah, look after yourselves. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. It's been lovely to have you with me, and you know, leave some comments and any questions you have I love the interaction below. So just give us any questions that you got. You know, I can try and answer them the best way I can. For now, that's it. Plot the plate. No dig, signing out. Bye for now.